Welcome to the Golden State Warriors News Today channel. Take the opportunity to leave that like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go to today's news.
Hey Warriors fans, let's get straight to the point about Lauri Markkanen. The Warriors have their eyes on him, and everyone knows it. However, the Utah Jazz won't release Markkanen unless the right price is met. The burning question is, will the Warriors pay that price? Golden State has draft picks that could entice Danny Ainge, but the big question is which of the Warriors' young core is actually available. It all depends on how GM Mike Dunleavy values the team's young talents. Dunleavy needs to decide whether to bet on the future or secure a key piece now to maximize the remaining years of Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. Speaking of young talents, all signs point to Brandon Podziemski being the key to these negotiations. The Jazz want Podziemski as the centerpiece of the deal, but the Warriors see this 21-year-old as a favorite within the organization. We're at an impasse, folks. Is it worth trading a promising young player for someone like Markkanen, who at 27 still has a lot to offer, but might not fit into Utah's youth movement? Let's be honest here, impasses eventually break. Either the Jazz will lower their asking price, or the Warriors will give in. And honestly, I think the latter is more likely. Markkanen is a tremendous talent, and although he doesn't exactly fit the youthful profile Utah is seeking, he could be the difference maker the Warriors need to take a significant leap forward. Yes, Podziemski is already a winner, but he's not on the same level as Markkanen. Now let's be realistic. If the Dubs can't land Markkanen, what's next? There are viable alternatives in the trade market. The reality is that Golden State is just one step away from making noise in the West, but that step is crucial. We need a star who can contribute now, not 2 or 3 years down the line. Backup plan number 2 is Trey Young. Does this have a future, or is it just a distant dream? Let's dive into this discussion. First, let's understand the current situation of the Atlanta Hawks. They're at a crossroads between retooling the team and starting a rebuild. With Zachary Reiser arriving as the worst number 1 pick in a decade and the trade of DeJounte Murray for Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance Jr. and picks, the Hawks are more balanced but not necessarily better. So, what's the true direction of this franchise? Let's be realistic here. Trey Young won't tolerate losing for long. The guy wants to win, and fast. With no control over their own draft picks, the Hawks situation is complicated. So, the question remains, is it time to rebuild? Now, the interesting part, how can the Golden State Warriors get involved? We could involve the Spurs as a third team, trading prospects like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody to return Atlanta's picks to their original owner. Sounds complicated, right? But in the NBA, where there's a will, there's a way. Let's be honest, the idea of having Trey Young and Stephen Curry together is intriguing, but also problematic. The modern NBA has moved away from lineups with small players, and defense would be a major concern with Young and Curry together. However, let's imagine this scenario for a moment. Young is one of the most prolific offensive engines in the NBA. He's a deadly pull-up shooter with elite ball handling and court vision. Opposing defenses would have nightmares trying to contain Young and Curry at the same time. If Young can adapt to the Warriors' style and work hard off the ball, they become nearly impossible to guard. But what do you think, fans? Is it worth trying something so innovative and risky? Could the combination of Young and Curry take the Warriors to another level, or are we talking about a defensive disaster waiting to happen? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Backup plan number 1 is Jimmy Butler, a name that could shake up the Golden State Warriors structure. Jimmy Butler is undoubtedly one of the most realistic stars Golden State can target. He loves Miami, but the truth is that Butler will eventually want his money, and the Heat don't seem willing to offer a full max extension. He could hit free agency next summer, and if negotiations stall, who's to say the Heat won't try to trade him? Or maybe Butler himself will ask to leave, especially if the Heat continue to struggle early in the season. Let's face reality, after 2 consecutive 8th-place finishes, it's clear that the current formula in Miami isn't working. Eric Spoelstra is an excellent coach, but the roster around Butler and Bam Adebayo is far from competitive. So there's a real chance the trade rumors involving Butler will come back strong mid-season. And if that happens, you can bet that Golden State will be at the front of the line. Yes, there are risks. Butler isn't a great three-point shooter, but with Steph Curry Buddy Hield, and Brandon Podziemski by his side, that would be less of an issue. Butler also tends to slow down during the regular season, but with Curry leading the charge, that would be more manageable. And let's be honest, Butler is old by NBA standards, but so is the Warriors' core. He would fit perfectly into our win now timeline. Imagine the dynamic between Butler and Draymond Green. It would be a show to see these two fierce competitors together on the same team. What do you think, fans? Is it worth bringing Butler to the Warriors? Is he the player who can take us back to the top of the mountain? If Butler returns to the trade market, the Warriors are likely the favorites to land him, especially if they can't get Lauri Markkanen. But what do you think, fans? Do you believe this is the right move? I want to hear your opinions in the comments. One intriguing name is Pascal Siakam from the Toronto Raptors. Siakam is an all-star caliber player who brings versatility on both ends of the court. With the Raptors in a bit of a transition phase, there's a possibility they might consider moving Siakam for the right package. Imagine a frontcourt with Siakam, Draymond, and Looney, providing a perfect blend of defense, playmaking, and scoring. The question remains, what would it take to bring Siakam to Golden State? Draft picks, young assets, and maybe a third team might be required to make this deal happen. Another potential target is Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers. Turner is an elite shot blocker and a capable three-point shooter, which would fit perfectly with our spacing and defensive schemes. Pairing Turner with Draymond in the front court would give us one of the best defensive duos in the league. The Pacers have been rumored to be in rebuild mode, so they might be open to dealing Turner for the right mix of picks and young talent. The addition of Turner could solidify our defense and provide another reliable scoring option. And let's not forget about Zach LaVine from the Chicago Bulls. LaVine is a high-flying scorer who can create his own shot and light up the scoreboard. The Bulls have been inconsistent and might consider hitting the reset button if they don't see progress. LaVine's scoring ability combined with Curry's shooting would make our backcourt one of the most lethal in the NBA. However, his addition would require significant assets, and the Warriors would have to weigh if LaVine's offensive firepower is worth the cost. These are just a few names that could be game changers for the Warriors. The front office has a lot to consider as they look to build a roster capable of competing for championships while maximizing the prime years of our core players. As always, I want to hear from you, Dub Nation. Who do you think would be the best fit for the Warriors? Are there other players you have in mind that could elevate our team to new heights? Share your thoughts in the comments below. As a Warriors fan, here is my opinion on the team's possible moves. Regarding Lauri Markkanen, I believe he would be an excellent addition to the team. He is 27 years old and is still at the peak of his career, bringing skills that would complement our squad very well. Markkanen has a rare combination of size and shooting ability, which would help space the floor and open up more opportunities for Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. However, the Utah Jazz's demand for a high price, including possibly Brandon Podziemski, makes the decision difficult. Podziemski is a talented young man with great potential, and trading him for Markkanen involves significant risk. If the Warriors front office decides that the winning window is now, it could be worth taking a chance, but it's a move that should be made with great caution. As for Trey Young, despite being an intriguing prospect, I have reservations. The combination of Young and Curry would be formidable offensively, but defense would be a serious concern. Both are relatively small players by today's NBA standards, and aligning the two could expose our defense, especially against more physical and athletic teams. Furthermore, Trey Young is a star who likes to have the ball in his hands, which could cause problems adapting to the Warriors' style of play, which is based on ball movement and collective play. The idea is interesting, but the risks may outweigh the benefits. Finally, considering other options like Jimmy Butler or Pascal Siakam, I believe Pascal Siakam could be the best choice. He brings defensive and offensive versatility, and his ability to play multiple positions would fit well in the Warriors' system. Siakam also has championship experience, which would be valuable for a team looking to maximize Curry and Green's senior years. In short, if I had to choose, I would prefer to see Pascal Siakam as the Warriors' main target. He brings an ideal balance of skills, experience, and immediate impact potential without the defensive risks that come with acquiring Trey Young. Either way, the board needs to carefully evaluate all options to ensure any move strengthens our team for next season and beyond. Come on, Warriors!